Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. We are from 7 group. Let me introduce myself. My name is Tarisa Ustari and my friend Dafadia Ulhaq and Wafi Sitin Ajia. So, for today's meeting, we will explain about material for vocabulary and grammar. The first material will be explained by me, and the second will be explained by Wafi, and the third will be explained by Dafa, and the last will be explained by me. Okay, I will explain about introduction, material, vocabulary, and grammar. This chapter focuses first on vocabulary teaching materials and then on grammar teaching materials. There is a tradition of variety materials for teaching vocabulary and grammars, as well as for teaching the four skills, but all of them must be critical scrutiny. Nah, misalnya pelajaran kosakata ini tidak dapat direduksi menjadi sekedar mempelajari kata. Nah, penekanan pada pengajaran grammar dalam teks-teks tertentu itu telah banyak dikritik oleh para peneliti. Nah, dalam diskusi PPP, teknik yang paling populer digunakan sebagai model untuk pengajaran. Nah, didukung oleh prinsip eklektisisme dalam pengambilan keputusan untuk memilih salah satu model untuk pembelajaran grammar.
Hello everyone, I'm Wafi Sitinur Aziza. Here I will continue to explain the material. First is about material for vocabulary. Vocabulary is vital aspect of language learning. Without vocabulary, nothing can be conveyed. We know far more. For example, about word frequency, vocabulary size, and then collocation and relationship between lexis and grammar. And in addition to word frequency, we need also to consider collocation and lexical phrase. Jadi dalam kosakata adalah aspek penting dalam pembelajaran bahasa. Tanpa tata bahasa akan sangat sedikit yang bisa kita sampaikan, yang bisa kita kemukakan. Tanpa kosakata kita bahkan tidak bisa menyampaikan sesuatu. Kita sekarang lebih tahu banyak tentang frekuensi kata atau ukuran kosakata, kolokasi dan hubungan antara leksis dan phrase, karena kita memiliki kosakata, pembendaharaan kosakata atau vocabulary. Selain frekuensi kata, kita juga perlu mempertimbangkan khususnya kolokasi dan frasa leksikal. Meskipun kesulitan dalam menghitung frekuensi kepemilikan kosakata atau perbendaharaan kosakata, ada beberapa ahli yang menyampaikan gagasannya untuk mengatasi hal tersebut. Contohnya seperti yang disampaikan oleh ahli Smith pada tahun 2010. Yang pertama itu tentang native speaker typically know 16.000 sampai 20.000 kelompok kosakata. Sedangkan untuk learners need vocabulary atau pembelajar atau pelajar membutuhkan kosakata kurang lebih sebanyak 8.000 kata untuk membaca materi yang tidak disederhanakan atau bahasa-bahasa baku atau bahasa-bahasa ilmiah. Lalu yang ketiga, learners need to know between 2.000 dan 3.500 kata untuk pemahaman dan penggunaan bahasa sehari-hari atau bahasa yang sederhana. Kemajuan yang cukup jelas ini telah dibuat dalam mendefinisikan beberapa banyak kosakata yang perlu dipelajari. Tetapi penelitian semacam itu sebenarnya tidak memberitahu kita dengan tepat kosakata apa yang harus dipelajari dan atau bagaimana kita harus mempelajari kosakata tersebut. Now let's to the next submaterial that is about vocabulary selection and vocabulary knowledge. Okay, first in vocabulary selection and vocabulary knowledge, there was frequency are criterion. A common criterion for vocabulary selection is frequency, and the contemporary materials writers, as we have noted, an important question for us as material writers if we accept that frequency is useful criterion. Jadi maksudnya pada frequency as criterion ini, kriteria yang termasuk yang masuk akal untuk pemilihan kosakata adalah frekuensi. Dan penulis materi kontemporer dalam materi ini menyampaikan bahwa seperti yang telah mereka catat gitu, pertanyaan penting bagi mereka sebagai penulis materi. Jika mereka menerima bahwa frekuensi adalah kriteria yang berguna. Okay, next is about beyond frequency. Kriteria others than frequency in our vocabulary selection. Jadi di sini ada beberapa kriteria, yaitu first is frequency of use, second is coverage, and then range, and also availability, and then learnability, easier to teach vocabulary for concept and phenomena which learners are familiar with in their own culture, and then opportunity, and also center of interest. Okay, next ada selection criteria for collocation and lexical praise. In selection criteria for collocation and lexical praise, there was point number 1 is frequency, point number 2 is difficulty, and then semantic predictability. Semantic predictability is semantic predictability refers to how easy it is to infer the meaning of a lexical chunk from the component parts. And then there was strength of collocation, and then pedagogic convenience. Okay, the last one is about word knowledge. As well as considering what vocabulary needs to be learned, we also need to consider what should be learned about a given lexical item. In word knowledge, jadi maksudnya selain kita mempertimbangkan kosakata apa yang perlu dipelajari, kita juga perlu mempertimbangkan apa yang harus dipelajari tentang item leksikal yang diberikan.
Hello everyone, my name is Dafadia Ulhaq from 7 Group. Today I will explain about the materials for grammar. So there is some method and materials that you can use for teaching. Alright, so without further ado, let's begin with the first one. So the number 1 is deductive approach. Deductive approach to teaching language starts by giving learners rules, then examples, and practice. It is teacher-centered approach to presenting new content. This is compared with an inductive approach, which starts with example and asks learners to find rules, and hence is more learner-centered. For example, while teaching it, the instructor first explains the concept and its rule for correct usage. Then different ways are used to let students practice concept. For example, the teacher writes simple sentences to explain rules of the past and present tenses. After this, they hand out worksheet wherein students are asked to convert past tense to present tense and vice versa. Number 2 is inductive discovery activities. The inductive approach in teaching grammar is a discovery learning approach in which teachers don't teach the grammatical rules directly. but let the student discover them through a learning experience in terms of using the target language. For instance, the students can discover the rules through games, songs, other different activities that requires the student engagement and interaction. Example: a teacher writes on whiteboard some example of present perfect and simple past present tense sentences. Afterward, the teacher asks the student what difference they notice in set of sentences. And the third one is the contextualized practice. According to Oxford and Crookhall in 1990, yield that words are removed from any context that could give a clue for learner to remember, and that could give any sense about actual use of the word as a part of the language. For example, students give a sentence but in one of the words are missing, then the student must answer it correctly by form of the grammar. The fourth one, this is the fourth one, communicative practice. Place in communicative stage of a grammar lesson are games, role play, and discussion activities. Games are an excellent method of communicative grammar practice because they allow students the opportunity to practice and develop language skills in enjoyable and low-stress manner. And next is teacher correction and recast. It is a technique used in language teaching to correct learners' error in such a way that communication is not obstructed. To recast an error, an interlocutor will repeat the error back to the learner in corrected form. For example, student has assembled a past tense sentence, but there is a slight error, then the teacher corrects it to make it more precise. Then, grammar games. A grammar learning method that involves a certain games. One of the games that we use on grammar material is a build sentence, telephone grammar, and others. Last is incidental focus on form during communicative task. Incidental focus on form overly draws learners' attention to linguistic items as they arise spontaneously without prior planning, meaning focus interaction. For example, like learning grammar spontaneously in class by using a sentence that is often used and then explain it. Thank you.
Okay, in conclusion in this section, in terms of production vocabulary teaching materials, this can be summarized as follows. First is effective vocabulary learning is essential for language learning. Nah, jadi pembelajaran kosakata ini sangat efektif untuk pembelajaran bahasa. Okay, the next is Corpus Research has provided us with a better understanding of the quantity of words than students must learn. Nah, jadi penelitian Corpus ini telah memberikan solusi atau pemahaman yang lebih baik tentang jumlah kata yang harus dipelajari oleh siswa. The next is the importance of collocation and lexical logs as well as individual words has been highlighted by Corpus Research. Nah, pentingnya kolokasi dan log leksikal serta kata-kata individual ini telah dipandangi oleh penelitian Corpus ini. Nah, next is learners cannot generally be expected to pick up enough vocabulary on their own. Nah, pembelajaran umumnya tidak dapat diharapkan untuk mengambil kosakata yang cukup untuk sendiri. The last is to pick what vocabulary to teach. Principles such as frequency, learnability, and learner interest must be applied. Nah, untuk memilih kosakata apa yang akan diajarkan, perlu adanya prinsip-prinsip seperti frekuensi, kemampuan belajar, dan minat pelajar untuk diterapkan. Okay, the next is in the section of grammar teaching materials, you'll find we note that grammar is commonly included in course book and listed 3 possible reasons for integrating grammar in materials. What the market want. Second, it's exchange, communication, and third, it is educationally developmental. Nah, di sini dikatakan bahwa tata bahasa biasanya disertakan dalam buku-buku pelajaran dan mencantumkan 3 alasan yang masuk akal untuk mengintegrasikan grammar dalam materi. Nah, pertama itu adalah apa yang diinginkan pasar, dan kedua adalah meningkatkan komunikasi, dan ketiga mengembangkan pendidikan. Next is we revert back to SLA to remind ourselves of the general agreement that grammar instruction appears to accelerate accuracy count. Nah, di sini juga menyebutkan bahwa SLA itu untuk mengingatkan diri kita sendiri tentang kesepakatan umum bahwa instruksi grammar tampaknya mempercepat pertumbuhan akurasi. The last is we propose that enabling view of grammar pushes us to evaluate what a given grammar structure would accomplish to help our learners communicate. Nah, jadi di sini juga mengusulkan bahwa memungkinkan melihat grammar ini untuk mendorong kita untuk mengevaluasi apakah grammar kita baik dan jika baik akan mencapai suatu. Nah, di sini juga dikatakan bahwa memungkinkan dilihat grammar ini akan mendorong kita untuk menguasai apakah struktur grammar yang diberikan akan mencapai untuk membantu pelajar untuk berkomunikasi atau tidak. Okay, maybe that's all from us. We apologize we have a lot of mistake. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.